Good evening guys, welcome to the video. This video I would like to show you a small blog that I wrote today on LinkedIn. This essentially blog talks about how you can prevent Selenium from being detected or being blocked. Essentially, whenever you're doing scraping, right, you essentially will be blocked pretty much, right? This video would talk how to overcome those problems. I have been reading a lot of blogs and posts, and these are the solution that I think worked for me. So for example, according to a lot of posts, you should definitely use a spoofing user agent. User agent usually tells you about the browser and the type of device that it's coming from. So you want to spoof that. You want to also spoof proxies. You also want to change the property from value of the navigator from the WebDriver to undefined. You also want to disable the blink features, exclude collections of enable automation switches, turn off the automation extension, and here is a small library that I wrote. Essentially, we have a class called spoofer. The job is to generate IP address proxies and spoofing agents. Driver option is the class that's responsible for returning the options to the WebDriver object, and then we have a WebDriver class. This is the entire class. As you can see, the spoofer returns the user agent and IP address. The driver class, which is right here, takes care of everything. These are basically coming from Stack Overflow. I've been reading a lot of blogs, as I said. So if you come here, these are all the references, so you can come here and see. Incognito, single process, start full screen, start maximize, no sandbox, disable blink feature automation, then exclude switches, use automation extension. So all of these things, disable info bars, whatever they have been recommending on essentially these posts, I have been implemented that. The WebDriver objects essentially inherits from driver option, so I have access to all the options now. And essentially I use proxies as well, so we pass that. Using this approach, as you can see, I have a screenshot. This is the IP address, that's a proxy IP address, as you can see. So it essentially prevents your identity and prevents you from being blocked, because every single time the user agent also is being mocked or faked, right? So that's that. So so conclusion, using the class that I've developed, you should be able to utilize Selenium on vast majority of websites without being banned. Further reading, I'm reading more on these topics, how websites detect that it's Selenium, or how we can prevent from being blocked. So as I said, as and when I keep learning and adding lot new things, I'll add it here. Another thing as well, that usually people also look for a CDC. So essentially CDC and WDC. So let me just read it. According to a Stack Overflow post, the Selenium detection works by testing out a specific JavaScript variables that emerge while executing Selenium. Bot detection programs often check this word Selenium or the WebDriver in any of these variables on a window object, as well as the document variable named CDC and WDC. Of course, all of these is dependent on the browser you're using. Different browser usage shows different thing. So this code that I have written essentially takes care. If you see, so we say page.add script to evaluate the new document. So we essentially add all these things as well, right? So whatever have been suggesting, and then we also change the navigator property to undefined. So essentially trying to make our bot not being detected. So all these whatever they have recommended on these all Stack Overflows and blog posts, I have implemented it. This is a pseudo code. It works fine. I hope you have enjoyed this small walkthrough, and if you have any more questions, list your questions on the comments. Of course, this is not a 100% guarantee that you won't be blocked. There might be scenarios where you still might will be blocked, right? So for those scenarios, you could, as I said, some person suggested that when you open up a webchrome.exe, you can open up that in a notepad, and if you see the hex code, you have to replace a string. So there are various ways, and I have been reading about all these things, and this is a small post that I have written. Hope you have enjoyed this video. The code is there as well. So if you have any more questions, list your question in the comments, and we can answer that question as and when I get time. Thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling, keep coding, stay safe. See you guys in the next video.